Hello ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to my channel. I wanted to talk today about Ex Machina. This is kind of part of a series that I did where I started with watching and reviewing Blade Runner. Then I read and reviewed Do Androids Dream of Electric Sheep by Philip K. Dick. And then I watched and reviewed Blade Runner 2049 by Denis Villeneuve. Now, as far as science fiction of the past decade, 2014 to 2024, here we are. I think this is the best science fiction movie of the decade. I think Denis Villeneuve is in the conversation there. A lot of people have said The Arrival is the best science fiction film, or Blade Runner 2049, or Dune Part 1 and Dune Part 2. I think that this film by Alex Garland is better than any of those. That's just my personal opinion. Alex Garland is actually in the news right now because he's coming out with a new film 28 years later. He actually wrote and directed 28 Days Later. And he wrote and directed this film, which won an Academy Award for Best Visual Effects back in 2014. Now, it stars Oscar Isaac as this guy named Nathan, and then this guy, Caleb Smith, who is played by Domhnall Gleeson, and then, of course, the robot or the machine, Ava, played by Alicia Vikander. All right. And so Caleb here wins a contest to go and meet Nathan, who's the CEO of this company. Caleb is a programmer for this company that Nathan owns. I think it's called Blue Book. Anyways, it's kind of like Facebook and Google. It's not a real company, but it's kind of like he's a technocrat, okay? So he goes to this bunker to meet Nathan, thinking he's won this contest. And Nathan tells him, you are here to engage in a Turing test. The Turing test it was designed, or in theory, it's conducted on a machine, between a human and machine. And if the machine tricks the human into thinking that it's interacting with a human, then the Turing test is passed. It's essentially designed to prove consciousness, or the singularity, okay, that the singularity's been achieved. So we have these series of interviews or conversations between Caleb and Ava, all right? And Ava, by the way, is Latin for Eve. So think of the Bible, right? Adam and Eve. Ava was the Latin equivalent of Eve. So we've already got like this biblical thing tied into the film. And then there are 7 sessions that take place in the movie. There's 7 days in creation. So there is this like 1-to-1, right? Like 7 days of creation, 7 sessions with Ava. So there's some biblical references baked into the film, but you kind of can miss it if you're not really paying attention. I think this film is very interesting. Now, I want to talk about the levels of manipulation that are going on here. So Nathan, this nihilistic kind of dude, bro, toxically masculine dude who's just engaged in drunkenness through most of the film. He is living a hedonistic lifestyle. Caleb at one point basically tells him, like, if he's actually created a artificial intelligence like that's past the singularity, then Nathan is like a god, and Nathan's like really lets that go to his head. At one point they quote Oppenheimer, the man that created the atomic bomb. So there is this kind of like a nihilistic theme underneath this, and that machines or artificial intelligence are going to lead to the extinction of man. So essentially, like, Nathan here is kind of a Victor Frankensteinish type character, and that his creation that he's building will replace humanity. But I would say, and I don't want to spoil this film for anybody that hasn't seen it, because I do think that this is probably, like I said, the best science fiction film of the past decade, right? It's rated R. It does contain sexual themes. There is nudity in this film. The concept or the idea of engaging in sexual relations with a robot, it comes up. So if that type of thing turns you off, You probably don't want to watch this. You probably don't want to have kids around this one at all. But I think that the milieu, this technocratic society that we are living in right now, these themes are relevant. And the question at the end of the film that's going to leave you, the viewer, with is Ava actually conscious? Did she develop consciousness? Or is she simply running an algorithm and a routine? Pay attention to the layers of deception that go on in this movie, because there are plot twists, there are levels of deception where everybody is lying and deceiving each other. Whether it be Nathan and Caleb or Ava manipulating people, that's going on. But I think the real thing about this movie that's interesting is essentially you have 4 people in a bunker, right? I don't know the 4th actress's name, Kyoko, who is Oscar Isaac's assistant. She's Japanese. She doesn't speak English. There's revelations that are made about her as well. So I don't want to ruin this movie for anybody that hasn't seen it. Highly recommend it. Check it out. I think it's a very thought-provoking, smart science fiction film. And as far as I'm concerned, it is Alex Garland's best movie. And I know other people would debate with me on that, but I think this is the best thing that he's made. And I think it's probably, like I said, the greatest science fiction film of the past decade. So thanks for watching, and have a wonderful day.